Okay, good morning, guys, and welcome to another episode of Front Street Technicals. As you all know, this is basically a market outlook session. We're basically looking for what opportunities can get in the market, and you guys get to see how I get my entries and exits. Yeah. So let's get started. For those that be watching this video on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the page. So fundamental wise, as you can see, we have CPI today, and then we have another news on CAD. That's a Bank of Canada monetary policy reports. Today is going to be crazy. Then we have FOMC in the night. Hey, then on GBP, we actually have a speech from their this thing, governor. I'm sorry, from their bank's governor. So today is going to be crazy in the markets. Let's jump on our charts and then let's see what we can get. So this was actually the setup we took yesterday on NZD USD. It was actually nice. One of those days that will actually have clean, nice setups in the markets. So let's see. Let's see what we can get. So the market is still bearish. We basically created this lower low, the lower high, then a lower low here. Price actually broke below. And then you can see that price actually pushed up and then now it's pushing down. Do you understand? So what we can anticipate here is more or less, we have this low here, these lows here. We have these lows here. Now, what are we using this low to do? What are we using this low to do? Let's just hold it. If price can come and break this low to the downside, then we'll continue the trend. And since today's CPI, yeah, I think what I'm just going to do, I might put a limit around here, just a few pips below, a limit around here. Yeah. What will I use that limit for? If price can break it and then just it's a sell stop. If price can break it and then just continue going to the downside, then I'll be looking to actually ride it to the downside. Then the next thing we have is what? This high at the top here. So now what are we going to use this high for? What are we using this high for? If at any point price can come and break that high, then we're actually starting to have a shift in market structure. So we can be looking for a retest and then a continuation. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for on NZD-USD. Then let's see AUD-USD. Well, AUD-USD has created, okay, it has not formed the double top yet. But then we pushed up, we failed to create another high, we pushed down, we failed to create a low. And then now we've pushed up and then now we're rejecting to the downside. So if at any point we can come and break this low to the downside, then we would actually have that whole distance, that double top formation, and then we can look for a retest and then the continuation. So right now it's just to sit back and then see how everything plays out. Then at the same time, we have this whole high here that price has been failing to break for a while now. So if price can break that, then we basically have an uptrend. So that's what I'll be looking out for on AUD-USD to see whether price will break above or below. Is there another pair you guys want us to take a look at before we go? Okay. I'll take the silence as we don't have any other pair. So one sec, let's go over the setup we had yesterday and then let's see the whole reason why we actually took it. So that for those that were not around, you guys will actually know how we came up with the setup. But I know those of you that are regulars with my analysis, actually from seeing it, you already know how we got it. So yesterday, yeah, price basically created this lower low here, and then it was retracing back up. Yeah. And then the first zone we could identify was this whole support level here that was broken to the downside. And then anytime a support level is broken to the downside, there's always that high potential that it will turn to a resistance. Yeah. And then at the same time, we plotted our Fibonacci. Yeah. And then you can see that the 0.618 was just at the top of that zone. So it was more or less like we had two confluences there. So now what we did was just wait for price to get inside. Yeah, wait for price to get inside. As price tapped inside, you can see that we actually had that whole massive rejection, but then this was at night. This was around 2 a.m. So yesterday, when we were analyzing, which was around 8, we actually found something interesting on the lower time frame. So if you go to the lower time frame, the 15 minutes, you actually see that price was actually ranging at that zone there. Price was actually ranging. Then out of nowhere, we actually had a break of that range to the downside. Let's see. Where was the break? And good. So now at this point here, price actually broke this whole small range here. Let me change the color of that to, let's see, uh, change it to white. So now price actually broke that range to the downside. And the candlestick we actually used to enter was this one. So after that break here, what we did was basically just set our sell limits there. And then we dropped our stop loss above here. And then we were targeting these lows to the downside. This low to the downside. This low to the downside. So now it was roughly a 3-hour trade. So price went back, activated it, and then we just held it till the sales happened. So that was basically it. So in the absence of any other question or any other pair to look at, we'll actually call this a session. Yeah, call it a day. Please, you guys, today's CPI, so pay attention to the markets. Yeah, trade what you see, know what you feel. Do you understand? And always remember that anything can happen. So if you see your setup, take it. If you don't see your setup, don't be like, oh, this thing looks like my setup, don't take it. Do you understand? So I'll catch you guys same time tomorrow. Bye, guys.